Today, you're going to learn all about Sal, which is a lightweight scroll animation library. Before we begin, this video sponsors HelloSign, which offers an API that helps companies grow revenue faster by automating document workflows with a developer-friendly e-signature API that makes it simple and easy to embed secure and legally binding documents directly into your website. G2 Crowd says HelloSign's API is 2 times faster to implement than any other e-sign provider. You or your devs can send your first API call in minutes, and your app certification is always free, and you won't find an e-signature product with an easier path to implementation. All right, let's get back to it. Hey everyone, Gary Simon here of Corsetro. So today we're going to take a look at what is called Sal, which, as I mentioned, is a lightweight scroll animation library based on JavaScript, all right? And this is the official GitHub page, and this is what we're gonna build real quick. So I'm gonna reload this. As you can see, we have just some nice animation coming in, and this is, provided by Sal. If I scroll down, we can see we have nice animation kind of cascading in here. Very easy to control with Sal, as well as right here as well. So it has, just several different options, and it's very easy to use. One of the biggest things about it and bonuses is it's only 2.8 KB, which is awesome. Now, if you include their CSS, it's a little bit more, but still very light. I'm gonna show you exactly how to use it. So today's question: of the time you spend on the computer or behind your PC, how much of it is actually work? And if you can think about that in terms of a percentage, like maybe 70% of it's work, maybe 30% is gaming or whatever, let me know in the comments. I'll let you know personally in the top pinned comment, and make sure you subscribe. So let's get started. All right, so to get started here, we can see I'm using Visual Studio Code, a free code editor from Microsoft that all the cool kids are using these days. And I have a blank folder open here called Sal. All right, so just create your folder, open it up here in Visual Studio Code, and you're ready to rock. So the first thing I will do is just, first we'll go ahead and we're going to view our terminal. And I'm going to type in npm init-y. Now, npm, this is a node package manager. You're going to need to install Node.js from nodejs.org before being able to run this command, and then reload your code editor or your console or your command line. And then you'll be able to run this command. Init-y, it's just saying, create this package JSON file in our current folder, and as well as answered yes to all the default questions here. Okay, so the reason we do that now is so that we can run this command. So this is the official GitHub page for Sal, this scrolling library. And by the way, if you want to see their little GitHub IO page, just kind of demonstrates one such use case for using it. And so we have an installation section here, and this is what we want to run, this npm install, save it as a development dependency for this project. And then we're going to install it that way. It's very lightweight, very quick and easy. There you go. So we got our Sal all ready to rock right here. All right, so next we're going to go ahead and create, no, not in node modules. We're going to create an index.html file. And this I can just close out now. And in here, I'm just going to hit exclamation point and hit enter for some basic scaffolding here. And then I'm going to link up so I just typed link and then enter, saves yourself from having to type everything manually, a main / main.css file, I guess we'll call it. We'll save that, and then we'll also create a new folder called main with a main.scss Sass file, and then right down here, we're going to click Watch Sass, and it will automatically compile our Sass to a main.css file. All right, so referring back to the documentation, it states that you can load it with your favorite module loader, but we're not going to use one. It's a very simple purpose. So we're going to import this thing a little bit differently in a more conventional style. So first we have to import the JavaScript, and then also the CSS that comes with it. All right, so to do that, I'm going to do another link rel up here. So link, and then the href is actually going to point into the node modules folder for our CSS file. So right there, That's all found within this node modules folder. And then at the very bottom, we'll go ahead and do the JavaScript portion, which is simply going to be script and a source equals, again, we're going to use this same directory, except we're going to specify the JS file right here. All right, and then down here we can have our script, and it tells you in the official docs down here, the usage is we simply have to initialize Sal in the script file or your script tag in our case. So there we go. We're ready to use it. Very, very simple. All right. So in order to use it, let me hit Control Plus just so you can make this a little bit larger. Hit Control B to get rid of the sidebar. Let's write out some HTML first real quick, just so we can give ourselves a little bit of muscle memory and to try to put it into a real world sort of quick landing page context. So we're just going to section this out with section tags here. And I'm going to have an H1. And inside of here is where all of our options go. So once again, let me go ahead real quickly though. Scroll me, baby. I'm just going to put a BR here for a break, and then, oh yeah. And then that's it. Okay, so inside of here is where our data options go or configuration options for Sal. All right, so if we come down here, it says you could easily change animation options by adding a proper data attribute. So a duration, so how long should the animation last once this element is scrolled into view, a delay, and do you want to have any type of easing options specified for the CSS animations, and that controls, you know, how quick, you know, certain things happen, or it just changed the appearance of the animation. So this is one such example of how this works. It also supports several different animation types. So we could see data Sal slide up is just one of these examples, and you can experiment with these to really get a good grip of what's happening. So let's go ahead and apply just a few of these. So data Sal, we'll say a duration, and we'll just say 1200. Put two letter rows. Don't do that. A data Sal, like what type of animation? We'll say slide up, and then a data Sal delay. So once something's scrolled into view or it's in view by default, when should it show up? Because by default, all these have an opacity of 0. If you add a delay, we'll say about 1/3 of a second. That's you're not going to see anything for that. And I kind of like that for certain use cases. And then data Sal easing. And by the way, many of these are not required. I think just the Sal option right here is required. And then the easing, we'll do ease. I really like this one, hyphen out, hyphen bounce. All right. Oh, yeah, we don't want to do that. Just like that. All right. And we'll get rid of that right there. Okay. So now, if I Control B, right click after saving that, by the way, and open with live server, there you could see a very ugly version, but you can see what happens. We refresh. There's a very fraction of a second, that 300 milliseconds, where nothing happens, and then it comes into view. All right, so let's add, like I mentioned before, a few more elements here. So we'll do a second section. Let's just copy all that, and Control B, by the way. All right. This one, we're going to do in H3, all right, with some lorem ipsum text beneath it, but not yet. This one's just going to be, look at me, we, all right. And then we'll have a paragraph this time. And for the paragraph, we'll just have some standard lorem ipsum text like there. And my wife's messaging me on my phone. Not good quality control. I probably will not edit that out. And then that's good right there. Let's go ahead and change. Actually, we're going to leave this one. We're going to leave this one the same. Oh, and I forgot. We're going to wrap this in a div. So this div, we're going to have a class of left. And I forgot. I wanted to apply this stuff to the div element and not the H3. Like that. All right, and then we'll attach it just right here to this div. All right, and then we're going to close that div off, and then we'll do one more after I fix this real quick with a tab. We'll do a div class of right. All right, and we'll go ahead and include an image this time. So image source equals image /swipe .svg. All right, so let's create that folder. Let's see here. We'll do image, and then the swipe, I'm going to get that off screen in a different folder here. By the way, I'll have a GitHub for this so that you can use the same file. It's just an icon. I just wanted to show what it looked like when we're working with images. It's the same concept, really. And then this one, let's go ahead and we'll copy this stuff, and then we'll put it right here in this div as well. Except this time we'll make the let's get these fixed up here first. There we go. We'll make the delay 600, so it'll come in slightly afterwards. All right. We can also change the animation type of this one. So we could do, screw it, let's do slide down, as that's one of the options from the official docs. All right. And then finally, we're going to do just one more div. And again, that's going to be more like this one up here. So there's our section. Actually, I'll just copy this section up here. All right. And then this one is just going to be, again, we'll just make this an H3. And we'll take all this stuff out. We'll put it on this time just, let's see here. Well, we'll save that for a second. I'm going to put in, I'm going to start from scratch. We're going to put div, class of 1. And then I'm going to put our data attributes inside of here. All right, we'll just leave these the same. Inside of here, this div element, I'm going to put an H3. We're going to say keep. I'm just going to be a little bit trendy about this. Just a little bit of lorem ipsum text, which I'm just going to paste off screen. Just like that. We'll do this next one right here. Let's see here. Sorry, being slow. And then we'll do this again. So right there. Sorry to back up. All right, there we go. These don't necessarily need to change, but I'm a little bit OCD about that. And then for the delay, this will be maybe 500 and this will be 700. Keep, and then it, and then scrolling. All right, that's all the HTML. A little bit more setup than I anticipated. These are all gonna come into place and look stupid though because we don't have our CSS rule sets applied. So let's go ahead real quickly and write those just to get everything working. So as far as the Sal.js stuff is concerned, we're pretty much done there, but we need to make this look a little bit better. So margin 0 here. I'm just gonna copy actually just a couple of these rule sets in to make things go a little bit faster. What I can do and what I will do is we'll get this into a split sort of view, at least just initially, so that we can see what's happening as we're updating stuff. All right, so first we're going to reference our section, and this will be a height of calc, let's say 100 viewports minus 8 EM, and then a padding of 4 EM and align items center. All right, and let's save this. All right, so as you can see, if we refresh, we'll see this comes in. Some of the other stuff is, this is more of like a mobile viewport at this point. Why can't I talk today? We're going to do a, let's see here, an H1 font size real quick, 60 ems, text transform is going to be uppercase, and then line height is 0.9 em. There we go. And then we're going to do a and nth of type. And that's going to be the first one. Actually, some of these properties I'm just gonna copy and paste in here. You don't need to see me typing these all out. So this is the color code here that I'm using. We're gonna save this. That's all that's doing. And then we're gonna add a display grid. And with a grid template columns of 50%, 50%. And let's see what this looks like, how it's intended to be. All right, and oops, you know what? I was looking at the wrong one real quickly. What we're gonna do is take this, copy it. This one only has just these, let's see here, actually has these values. Sorry about that. So that's what that looks like. There we go. I was wondering, things were not looking correct to me. So this is the part where we're using the display grid where we have 2 equal columns. But we're not done. So now we're going to put in an H3. Oh, come on. H3. Why would I do that? Font size, 3 em. We'll do a text transform of uppercase and a margin of 0. All right, we'll next reference our image because that looks kind of crappy right there. Why do I keep doing that? I'm not writing HTML. And then we'll do margin 0 auto. Display block, I'm just gonna center it that way. Probably could do that with the grid, but old habits and such. All right, and then finally, we only have a little bit more, I promise. Just 2 more roll sets really, and we will be done. And then we're gonna do an nth of type 3. So let me just copy this part. Let's see here. So this will be a 3rd section down here. And of course, this isn't responsive. That wasn't really the purpose of this tutorial. Background color is going to be white. We'll do a grid template columns on this one, and we'll just do repeat function of 3, 33.3%. And then finally, our last rule set, the paragraph, let's just make those widths of 50%. All right, so if we save this and we, okay, I obviously screwed something up because what the hell? I think I put this perhaps in the wrong area. Yeah, I screwed something up real quickly. Sorry about that. All we have to do is apply this right here. All right, so of course that's not meant to look. What the fuck am I doing? All right, so this is working how it should. That is, I believe, working how it should. There we go. And then that is most certainly not how it's supposed to be looking. And that's because I had an extra, I had a duplicate of that one. That's why. And then once again, I need to close that off. There we go. All right. Okay. Jesus Christ, what was happening? I don't know what I was thinking. All right. So now let's make this large. And here we go. Nice. Now, right now, the default behavior of this is it's only going to show these animations once, but you can override that with the options here in Sal at the very bottom. You could see we can copy this instead and then go to the very bottom here and we can say that where it says once is false. All right, so now by the way, threshold was also included in this option, which is the percentage of an element's area that needs to be visible to launch the animation. All right, so if you want to look at the docs or whatever here as from end to end, you can see exactly what they're talking about, but we're going to leave that at 1. So basically, by adjusting that value, you can control when the element will animate based on how much of it's actually visible. Otherwise, if it's set at something less than 1, it'll start prematurely, and you may not want that. So now, if I refresh this and we go down, but we go back up, we can see that it is now working every time that you scroll up. So it's reversing the animations essentially when you have that option disabled and it's set to false. All right, so hopefully you enjoyed that. Again, remember to answer today's question, which is of the time spent on the computer, how much of it is actually work? All right, guys, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you later.